Man, I just have to start out this video saying how grateful I am. My YouTube is growing. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. My lifts are growing in the gym. If you guys follow me on here, you see that I post my shorts are like me in the gym doing my lifts. My portfolio in crypto is growing, and that's what this video is about. And my relationship with Lauren is fantastic. So I'm truly grateful. If you're watching this, man, I'm getting emotional. I hope you are making strides in your life and you understand that it is up to you at the end of the day to take control of your life. And if you're pointing your finger at something else in life, something that's holding you back, understand that you got three more pointing back at you. Take control of your life, and now is the opportunity to really progress in your life financially, whether you're in your early 20s, you're 30, maybe in your early 40s, 50s, 60s. It's never too late to kind of wake up and understand that crypto is going to be the future, whether you like it or not. Technology never regresses, it only progresses. And if I had to take a betting man bet, I would say that the gaming coins are about to go insane, just because I think Web3 is the future of gaming. Not because it's crypto, not because anything other than it is better, more efficient code. And secondly, to me, it answers the most important question that's going to be the back half of this decade: is what is digital ownership? What does it look like? How do we track it? How is it regulated? All of that. And I think Web3, I think crypto gaming is at least step one to that answer. But Altcoin Daily is one of my favorite videos that I like to watch. A fantastic group over here. Give them a like, subscribe. The full video is going to be down in the comments below. Boo! And let's hear what Gary Gensler has to say, yeah?
This Halloween, it will be 16 years since Satoshi Nakamoto wrote that white paper. So happy Sweet 16 in a week.
Whoa! I didn't even realize Bitcoin is 16. In 16 years, Bitcoin's at 68,000, 67,000. Shit.
Hey, 5 big crypto news stories today. Smash that like button. If you hold crypto, you need to watch today's whole video. Current SEC chair
crypto.
Gary Gensler just raised a giant middle finger to Bitcoin holders. Bloomberg's host challenges Gary here, saying, hey, Gary, it's clear there is a consensus. No matter which political side you may fall under, the people want updated, fair crypto rules and regulations. Gary responds saying, actually everything is fine. Fuck you, Bitcoin holders, and have a happy birthday.
You see why I like Altcoin Daily? You see why I like this guy? He's great.
So busy in parallel with the crypto industry. I think there's consensus on the eve of an election that all of those parties involved and responsible want to hammer out some sort of new jurisdictional framework for crypto regulators to make some progress on settling oversight of that industry. Can you talk to us about the work you're doing there and if you're making any progress in that field?
Look, there's nothing incompatible about the ledger technology. You know, it's just this Halloween, it will be 16 years since Satoshi Nakamoto wrote that white paper. So happy Sweet 16 in a week. There's nothing incompatible about a ledger technology, a decentralized ledger technology, and the securities laws. And it's important that in the securities markets that investors get to decide on their investments, but they get the proper disclosure, that we guard against conflicts of interest and the like. And we're going to continue to do that at the Securities and Exchange Commission. If a market's ever going to have trust, it also needs to come into compliance. And a lot of this field, and we've seen the challenges in this field where a lot of people have lost money. Regular investors have lost money in a field that's not providing the fundamental disclosure about their projects, about these investment contracts and these schemes. And that it's a field that has a lot of conflicts in the middle of it.
If you subscribe to Altcoin Daily, you are in the know, and that there are so many people who disagree with Gary Gensler on this.
Yeah, for sure. I'm kind of one of these people as well. I'm up $563 year to date on my crypto assets, at least on one of my exchanges, and I don't know. I'm not a record trader by any stretch of the means. In fact, I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to trading, and I just have a few coins: Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, AVAX, XRP, and a few meme coins like SHIB and Doge, and everything is up. And yes, if you go throughout the year, there's definitely points in time where it's down. But if we wait a little bit, like you're supposed to hodl, hold on for dear life. We'll look at it now. We up it, baby. So I will say, what Gary Gensler is saying isn't completely wrong except for the compliance part. I don't like the word compliance. It reminds me of a whiff or a little too much.
Including former FDIC chair Jelena Williams. She just came out and she says, hey, the US is actually behind with crypto regulations. Congress needs to pass a fair stablecoin bill yesterday. And ultimately, Gary Gensler has failed.
I believe that the United States has been behind in the regulatory sense of many other jurisdictions that have been a lot more friendly to crypto assets and digital currency projects. And as such, I believe that stablecoin is the lowest hanging fruit for the regulatory agencies to handle. My hope is that regardless of who wins, we do have a solution there, because the United States needs to lead as it has on so many issues in the financial markets, and that has not been the case with stablecoins or any other crypto assets. So I do think that the market's betting on crypto legislation in some form, starting with stablecoins, is a solid predicament and a prediction.
Ripple's CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, says that he believes that more fair regulations are coming for crypto next year, no matter who is elected president. Ripple, of
I am dumb heavy on XRP.
course, has been donating heavy to a lot of politicians, including Kamala Harris. Listen to what he has to say here.
Brad, in your view, does it matter if Kamala Harris is president come January 20th or Donald Trump is president come January 20th? What's better for you? What's better for Ripple?
Well, I've taken a very neutral point of view. For the crypto industry, I think it's clear that the Republicans at a macro level have been more proactive in saying this is an industry that needs clear regulation. You have seen a Republican-led bill in the House pass with 71 or 72 Democrats crossing the aisle to support that in a very bipartisan way. So I think we have seen a more Republican-centric but I also think you've seen indications that the Harris campaign wants to reset some of the very flawed approaches that the Biden administration has had with the crypto industry and other parts of technology. So what I'm optimistic about is we're going to see a change. We're going to see a reset. And I think we need that at the federal level. The United States, there's no question, the United States is behind other leading countries like the UK, like Switzerland, like Singapore, like Japan, that are way ahead in providing constructive and clear regulation and rules of the road for this industry.
In other news, Michael Saylor coming under heavy fire and scrutiny from the Bitcoin community. The Bitcoin community is trying to cancel Michael Saylor for this interaction in a podcast.
I'm so I don't want to say new to crypto because I've been around in crypto for a while, but never like really understood some of the big players and really didn't know who Michael Saylor was until very recently. But I listened to parts 1 and 2 of this podcast. I guess I just don't know him long enough and to contextualize why this is so damning.
If there is...
Guys, be kind to your cheeks. Manscaped just released their new electric...
more Bitcoins held with these third-party custodians, what risk does that pose, having greater supply held by fewer large institutions? Does that increase the risk of seizure and confiscation like we've seen with gold? And is that not exactly what Bitcoiners don't want to happen?
No, I think it's the opposite. I think that when the Bitcoin is held by a bunch of crypto anarchists who aren't regulated entities, who don't acknowledge government or don't acknowledge taxes or don't acknowledge reporting requirements, that increases the risk of seizure. You have an OG crypto community that's very hardcore about it, but if you look at where all the money is, 99.9% of the money is actually in the traditional economy.
If you consider the Great Depression, I mean, people thought that their gold was safe in banks until the Executive Order of 1933. So we're not entirely safe. I mean, I know that's kind of a wild thing to suggest may happen again, but history does repeat itself. So
yeah,
people's Bitcoin wouldn't be entirely safe. It's
people say that, but mostly it's paranoid crypto anarchists that say that, okay? Because it's a myth and a trope that.
In fact, it's that statement right there. I don't want to interrupt them too long, but I think just calling Bitcoin maximalist or Bitcoin, people who respect Bitcoin or believe in Bitcoin anarchist, I think that's just like how Asmund said, the inferior word in his rant. I think calling them anarchists is what's getting him in trouble here.
Goes on over and over again. But first of all, he didn't really seize the gold. People voluntarily turned in the gold. They didn't go and kick in everybody's door, arrest them, shoot them, and take their gold. That never happened. Is the United States on the Bitcoin standard?
Maybe we will be soon.
But the point really is we're not. Right? It's totally not a reasonable comparison. People have these inflammatory tropes or inflammatory memes that they use, and it's like, I say that because I want you to give me your money. Okay? Like, if you don't trust the bank, then you'll buy my hardware wallet. If you don't trust this government, you'll move to my country and you'll buy a passport from me. That's the kind of fear-mongering to get you to give me your money, right? And I use it to sell you a gun, to sell you a hardware wallet, to sell you an account, to sell you a financial advisor, to sell you an insurance policy, to sell you a, fill in the blank.
So Saylor says self-custody isn't that big a deal. Bitcoiners respond with facts and logic. Michael Saylor then has since corrected himself, going on seemingly a new PR tour, posting multiple posts and tweets saying that self-custody is actually important and should be encouraged. Please don't sell, Mr. Saylor. Bitcoin maxis can be a bit much. Please keep buying. In other news, ETF whisperer Eric Balchunas confirms Bitcoin is slowly taking away market share from gold. Gold, although doing very well this year, gold could be a lot higher, except people are choosing to buy Bitcoin instead.
I can understand why people are upset about this, but once more, I think technology always progresses. It doesn't regress. I think gold is going to be kind of like land in the sense that it really never depreciates, but Bitcoin is like the first internet nugget, the first internet resource that's actually been manifested, if you would, through the internet. And I think of the internet, when I think of the internet, I literally think of no difference than our own reality right now. I think if you go to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, just to give you really good social media ideas, I think all of those are no different than going to a continent that have its own people, it has its own culture, it has its own lingo, it has its own mannerisms. People can make their money and earn wages there, all different kinds of ways, different rules and regulations. So to me, the online world is no different than our world, other than the fact that we just don't have a physical body there as of yet. Eventually, a virtual avatar will become no different than our physical body.
Gold had made a nice run all year quietly, but it saw outflows. Some weeks it had inflows, but it was basically wrestling with net zero all year in cumulative flows. But it's finally starting to get into the positive. It's a little over $1 billion now in flows, so it's finally getting rewarded for its big kick. We have a note out last week about how the shiny metal has become a shiny object. And if you become a shiny object in the ETF space, you will get some looks, trust me. People are like, oh, what's that up there? So, and if you look, it's beating the S&P. It and Bitcoin are in somewhat of a fight for dominance between those two store of values. And I will say Bitcoin and the ETFs that launched may have stolen some of the thunder that would have otherwise gone to gold this year, because they basically have taken in $21 billion. If that didn't happen, let's say Gensler denied them and there was only gold, I would guess gold would have $10 billion. I think a lot of this is the Bitcoin competition now for that store of value allocation, which is real.
Hey, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Altcoin.
Once more, Altcoin Daily, a very, very solid channel. I like them. They post multiple times a day. They're on the grind. They're doing the damn thing. And I'm a believer of Bitcoin, crypto in general, right? So if you're not, let me know in the comments down below why you're not. If you are, let me know what are some of the things that you have invested in. Let's see how financially knowledgeable this little breakfast club is. So with that said, if you like the way the words are flowing out my mouth, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, please like, share, and subscribe. I see shit on the internet that I feel like I have an opinion about, and I want to share it with you guys, my breakfast club, because a lot of us have similar opinions, but slightly different. And that those little nuances make us unique, and I like learning why each of us are unique. So with that said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace!